Hey everybody, it's Tuesday again. Let's see what our vendors have for us this week. Starting in the Scholarium, we have Bound Affix Script Defile, adds Defile, a debuff reducing healing received. Bound Affix Script Protection, adds Protection, a buff reducing damage taken. Bound Focus Script Multi-Target, adds a multi-target hit. And Bound Signature Script Crusader's Defiance, adds removal of debilitating effects. All right, let's head over to the Telvar Merchant in the sewers. All right, we've made our way into the Imperial sewers. Let's see what we have this week.
It's not like me.
First up, we have Stras Mackay treasure maps. Stras Mackay is a starter zone, so the only gear this is going to bring us is Armor of the Trainee, but also a chance for leads for the Ancestral Orc axes and helmets. However, I would not get maps this way at 6,000 Telvar. Compared to a couple hundred gold through guild traders. This is definitely not worth it. Next up, we have scripts. Bound Affix Script Magicka Steel adds Magicka Steel, a debuff granting magic restoration to attackers. Bound Focus Script Shock Damage adds shock damage. And Bound Signature Script Wayfarer's Mastery adds improved functionality of skill line passives. Next, we have Fragment of the Obsidian Scar. This is part of Silverbolt's Vibrant Yellow skill style. Obsidian Scar's fragment comes from the Rivenspire Public Dungeon Obsidian Scar from the group event. It is a guaranteed drop. So if you're able to run the Rivenspire Public Dungeon, that is probably the better way to get it. Otherwise, it's here for 5,000 Telvar. Next, we have our leads. We have Blackened Moonstone Rivets. This is part of the newer Rakat's Void Mantle Mythic. This particular lead drops from Rimmon Necropolis, the public dungeon in Northern Elsewhere, or one of the public dungeons in Northern Elsewhere. I don't think this one's going to be too terribly difficult to get. It's probably not worth 25,000 Telvar, in my personal opinion. If you live and breathe Imperial City, then maybe this is nothing to you. But for somebody like me who is a more casual PvPer, that's pretty expensive compared to going into a public dungeon. Our next lead is Golden Saint Cameo. This one is part of the Saint and the Seducer. This lead drops from the world boss Lesser Circle in the Alikir Desert. Again, not a difficult one to get, and probably my preferred way versus 25,000 Telvar. But if you're struggling with either of these, it is here for you. And then our jewelry this week, we have Necklace and Ring of Agility. This one comes in all three traits: Arcane, Healthy, and Robust. We also have Necklace and Ring of Fasala's Guile in Healthy. All right, let's head over to Infinite Archive. We've made our way to Infinite Archive. Let's see what Filer Ul has for us. First up, we have Stormhaven treasure maps. I'm not super excited about these. Stormhaven treasure maps are really cheap off guild traders, but from Stormhaven, we can get Dreamer's Mantle, Night Terror, and Storm Knight's Plate, as well as a chance for leads for the Ancestral Orc boots or maces. Next up, we have Archival Riddles. Consume 20 Archival Riddles to unlock the Archival Veteran Achievement and the Veteran of the Infinite Body Art. Here is the Veteran of the Infinite Body Art. Now remember that these are a guaranteed drop with your Infinite Archive dailies. They do drop in a curated order, so you will eventually get these if you continue to do your dailies in Infinite Archive, or they're here for 3,000 Archival Fortunes. Remember, you need 20 of them though, so that's going to be 60,000 Archival Fortunes if you have not gotten any yet, so that's pretty spendy. All right, our first pattern is Nord Counter Cabinet. This is base game. On PCNA, this runs 14 to 18,000 and is available here for 2,000 Archival Fortunes if you need it. Not terribly expensive, but there's so many patterns in the game now. Sometimes it's nice just to be able to grab it. All right, our scripts, we have Bound Affix Script Savagery and Prophecy. Add Savagery and Prophecy, buffs increasing weapon and spell critical chance. Bound Focus Script Flame Damage, adds flame damage. And Bound Signature Script Thief's Swiftness adds improvement to your mobility. Our style page this week is Roxa the Warped, which is a shoulder. I don't always recommend shoulders. They are easy enough to get with keys whenever the mask style page is dropping, in this case from Balsenar. It's not even a super fantastic shoulder at that, but I prefer to get mine with keys rather than 15,000 archival fortunes. I'd rather save my fortunes for masks, but it's here if you need it. Next up, companion equipment, heavy armor. Remember that these are bound when you buy them from Filer Ool, and you are at the mercy of RNG for what companion trait you get. So just keep that in mind. This is not my preference. I don't usually recommend them, but it's here for 5,000 archival fortunes if you need it. Next up, Formula Necrom Incense Burner Squat Brass. This one, again, on PCNA runs about 20 to 25,000, which isn't super expensive. The Necrom patterns, I think because of the underway, are relatively cheap. We've also found that they don't follow the same cooldown as patterns in other parts of the game. Necrom seems a little unusual in that case, but if you need it, it is here for you for 2,000 archival fortunes, which is still a pretty decent deal. All right, our books this week, we have House Telvanni Song. This book drops in Infinite Archive, but only if you have learned the eidetic memory, which comes out of Telvanni Peninsula. If you're not sure how that works, we'll have a link below. And our second book this week is Kind Marcher Strix's Journal. This one also drops in Infinite Archive, but again, only if your character has learned the eidetic memory out of Bastion Mimics. Remember, eidetic memory is not account-wide. Maybe soon, I'm hoping, but it is not account-wide. So if you're hoping this book drops, you would need to know that book. To buy it too, you need to know the eidetic memory. If you're on PC, on NA or EU, I do have all of the books in my house. Just look for me on House Tours. Our first lead is Dovra Sabaton Lames. I got excited when I saw Dovra Sabatons. A lot of those leads are very difficult to get, but not this one. This one drops out of Northern Elsewhere safe boxes, and I have not found it to be super difficult to get. So not as exciting as it could be. And our second lead is Unhallowed Runic Tome. This is for the Daedric Enchanting Station, and this lead drops from Runestones in the Deadlands. Again, not super exciting this week. Next, we have Mummified Elfique parts. You need 10 of these to make the Grizzly Mummy Tabby Pet. If you decide to go to Rim and Necropolis, the public dungeon in Northern Elsewhere, to search for that lead for the Rakat's Void Mantle mythic that we were just talking about in the sewers, you can also look for these parts. At 3,000 archival fortunes apiece, you would need 10 of them. I think it's probably better just to go farm them. They do drop fairly easily, especially your first of each day. However, they are here if you want them. Or a third option is to buy them from traders on PCNA. They run about 2,000 gold apiece, which I still think is a little bit better than 3,000 archival fortunes. Okay, our final pattern this week is Praxis Elsewhere Brazier Tall, which is a beautiful pattern, but again on PCNA is still only in that 25 to 35,000 range, making it our most expensive this week. Remember, you can't sell these. They are bound, but it would save you from having to buy this particular pattern. So remember, they are bound as soon as you buy them, but you're not saving a ton this week by buying them through the Infinite Archive. Okay, and finally, we have the skill style Revealing Flare Blazing Orange. This is a complete skill style, not just a piece like we sometimes see. And it applies to Revealing Flare, Blinding Flare, and Lingering Flare. This can be purchased for alliance points from the War Researcher in Cyrodiil. I believe it is 100,000 AP. But an alternative, if you're not a PvPer, is to get it here for 10,000 archival fortunes, which I don't think is bad, honestly. So there you go. Let's run some Infinite Archive and see what gear is dropping this week. We just ran a couple arcs of Infinite Archive, and this week we have gear dropping from Rivenspire. That includes Darkstride, Necropotence, and Vampire Cloak. And we also have gear dropping from Apocrypha, which includes Adamant Lurker, Kamonotong, and Vivek's Duality. That's going to do it for this one. We'll see you next week.